Star Nation, good evening and welcome to another edition of Star FM Exclusive. Hello everyone, my name is Star DJ Gabby, and for this special episode of Star FM Exclusive, we will be joined by an iconic American R&B singer, songwriter. Wow, so he is a 16-time Grammy-nominated singer, and with popular love songs like Back at One, One Last Cry, Still, and Love Is, he is truly one of the most loved and probably one of the most or probably one of the best vocalists of all time. And to be honest, he needs no introduction. So I'm excited and honored to do this interview exclusive on Star FM. Please welcome the legendary Brian McKnight. Hi, Brian. This is Gabby.
Hello.
Yeah,
Thanks for having
welcome to Star FM. Welcome back to the Philippines.
me. Thank you.
Okay, so of course we are so happy to have you on the show. I know it's morning time in the U.S. right now, so I mean this is so exciting. I mean I personally can't believe that Brian McKnight is on the show. Of course, so welcome to Star FM. So how are you doing in the U.S. right now?
Well, we're good. It's, first thing in the morning, but, looking at what's happening worldwide with the pandemic and everything, my family and I are doing as well as we can. We're all healthy. We're all safe. That's really all you can hope for, or expect, as long as, you take care of the folks that are closest to you. If everybody does that, then we can flatten this curve and think it's going to go back to some sort of relative norm.
Okay, so that's great to hear, and I hope you stay safe with your family. Of course, these times are very challenging, but we just have to keep going. Anyway, what have you been up to for the past couple of months while under lockdown? I know it's probably something new because I believe you've been touring and performing your whole life, right? So how has it been like for you?
Well, the only thing that's really changed for us, honestly, has been the travel. My wife and I, we want to spend every second together, and now we're getting to do it in our home, which we very rarely get to do for this amount of time. And we try to always find that silver lining when things, don't go exactly as planned. So we've been, just taking care of each other, taking care of ourselves, kids and our parents, and just making sure that everybody's safe because, hopefully, soon things will go back to normal. We can figure out how to get our lives sort of, back on some other routine. But we love it. We love being home. I probably would have never taken a vacation of any kind, especially not one this long. And quite honestly, after touring for, almost 25 years straight, I would have never taken this much time. I think my body needed it, my voice needed it, and it's been great to get some rest for the first time in such a long period of time. So I'm ready to get back to work though. It'd be nice to get out and do some shows but we found ways to do this a different way. Normally we wouldn't have done this on Zoom, and we would have had to wait for me to come to the Philippines to do this. And, I've been able to do this all over the world now. So, this will be part of the new normal, but, we'll see what happens.
Okay, yes, and I know, of course, since we're under lockdown, we could actually spend more time with family, right? And that's great that you could spend more time with your wife and, of course, your family at home. Let's have a bit of a flashback. You've been to the Philippines for so many times. You were here last 2018, and the Filipinos, they love you so much. So you've done some collaborations. You even sang a Filipino song, right? And your lovely wife is part Filip. She's a Filipina, right? And it's yeah,
She's half Hawaiian, half Filipino.
yeah, half Hawaiian, half Filipina. So it's undeniable that you have this special connection with the Filipinos and the country, of course. So what is probably like the most memorable and most special moment that you remember while being here in the Philippines?
You know, uh, I can't really put my finger on one particular time. I mean, this last time that I went, I was able to go with my wife and her parents, and we were able to spend some time there in the Philippines and to travel around a bit. But I really have to go back to that time, and one of the times I went when I met Martin Rivera,
Uh-huh.
and we became friends, and we've been friends now for over 20 years, and really cultivating that friendship. And we're like brothers, and we've been like brothers for a very, very long time. So really, it's about those kinds of things, you know. And then with Kyla and with Regine, with Gary V, getting to really hear some of the best singers in the world that are right there from the Philippines. That, you know, we in the U.S. before I went to the Philippines, I had no idea that people could sing like that. That Regine could sing like that. So, you know, I've had some really great memories there, singing with folks and collaborating, and just really getting to know the music scene there in the Philippines.
Yeah, okay. So that's really great to hear. And of course, that's true. I mean, there are so many talented people here, talented singers in the Philippines, right? And we're just so happy that you were able to collaborate with them. And that's one of your probably the most memorable moments that you had here in the Philippines. So, of course, the Filipinos love you and we love your songs. I mean, it just hits us and we are romantic people, as they say. I was in high school when I first heard your songs on the radio, and I'm a fan, honestly. So yeah, of course, that's really your songs are really relatable. They're very beautiful, and you've been in this business, of course, for like 3 decades. Is that right? And you've
Just
inspired, you've inspired so many people with your music. So, how does it feel to actually influence many generations with the songs that you write? Like, I know you've experienced it multiple times, but hearing thousands of people inside an arena or a concert venue singing your songs all together, how does that feel? Does it still make you emotional, or do you still get overwhelmed with that experience?
I'm always overwhelmed by it. Considering that I write the songs, I'm not just singing them. What people have to understand is that I have no idea what people want to hear. I have no idea what people are going to respond to. I just know the kind of music that I like, and then you have to hope that there are other people out there in the world that like it the same way. So when you get to the concert, it's really the first indication, other than what happens on the chart, but that's not really necessarily a good indicator. It's when you go to the show and you see the faces and you hear the voices of people who have been listening and how it's affected them. And you can see it all over their faces. I often tell folks I wish that they could see the audience from my perspective, to know how awesome it is that so many people are all thinking exactly the same way and singing together. Something that I wrote, it overwhelms me every single time.
This is your 20th, is that right? 20th and probably the final studio album of all original material. So,
Right.
and I know most of your songs are actually for your Filipina-Hawaiian wife, Dr. Leilani. So tell us more about the inspiration behind this.
So Nobody is, quite frankly, the greatest love song I've ever written. You know, since I met my wife 8 years ago, she's been the inspiration of everything that I've done. Every song that I've written has been about her. And what most people don't know, I'm sure that in the Philippines don't know, is that I never ever wrote a song for anybody else because I never believed in love. I never believed that love even existed, and I never even liked anybody, let alone loved them. Nobody ever did it for me in any kind of way until I met my wife. When I wrote One Last Cry, when I wrote Back at One, when I wrote Anytime, I was really just taking numbers and syllables and putting them together and trying to piece together a song based on every other song I'd ever heard. But the day I met Leilani, I didn't have to think about writing songs anymore because it was all about her. So one day I was watching her blow dry her hair in the bathroom, and I had my guitar, and Nobody just wrote itself. But I only have 3.5 minutes to write a song. I couldn't put everything in there that I wanted to put in there. But the song says, I'll hold nobody's hand but yours, and I'll kiss nobody's lips but yours. But what I couldn't put in there because I didn't have the time is that I'm not looking at anybody. I'm not thinking about anybody. It's you 1000%. I really wanted to convey that message to my wife because she is everything to me, in every single way. Yeah.
Okay, wow, that's so beautiful to hear. And I've been listening to that song, and it's truly such a beautiful song. And I know a lot of people have felt that. I mean, I was watching the video too. That it was like I believe that was your wedding, right?
That was our wedding, yeah.
Ah, that was so beautiful. Okay, so anyway, going back to your songs, I know you also wrote a song for, of course, for your dear friend Kobe Bryant. That was such a beautiful and heartfelt song.
When he passed, I really looked at how the whole world was mourning him. And it touched me in a way and touched my family. And I saw how everyone even if you weren't a basketball fan, was, you know, in some way he inspired them. And I wrote this song, Can't Say Goodbye, for him and for Gigi and for everybody that was on the helicopter, and for anyone who's lost someone that was close to them, that meant something to them in a special way. And then I also did a cover, which I don't do a lot of covers. I don't, you know, do a lot of singing other people's music, but I very rarely talk about how much Sting has been an influence on me. And with everything else that's going on with the world, with the civil unrest, I wanted to remind people just of how fragile that we are, that we all need to take care of one another. So I chose Sting's song Fragile for number 13.
Okay, so we've heard that this is going to be your final studio album. So what does this mean? I mean, will you be retiring soon? Are you going to be taking a break from music or performing?
No, I think I'm just taking a step back. I've been doing things the same way since I was 18, you know, worrying about writing songs and putting them on a chart and trying to make sure I have a hit, and really wanted to just slow it down a little bit. Even before the pandemic began, I was, you know, taking the steps to sort of slow everything down. I normally do about 150 shows a year. And I've been doing that for many, many years. So I just wanted to take a step back and figure out what the next move is going to be. And all I really want to do is wake up every day and make my wife happy. That's what I want to do. I want to see what she wants to do and then do that. And we've been able to do that through the pandemic, and I really love it. So as far as going back in the studio and making more original records, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not saying I will never do it again. I'm just saying right now, that's how I feel. I think 20 albums in 2020 was a good place to sort of press pause.
Okay, so of course, it's like you're taking just a bit of a pause, right? And I'm sure a lot of people still wish to hear more songs from Brian, right? And of course, I know you're not retiring from music because that is what you love to do. So the question right now is, of course, will you be back to the Philippines anytime soon to perform for the Filipinos?
Well, first they have to lift all the travel restrictions and get this pandemic under control, and then I'm sure I'll be just about everywhere. After that, having this record out, having it do so well, I really want to get out and play these new songs. I haven't played Nobody in a show yet. Nobody's heard it live other than on social media. So I'm really looking forward to the day to see the reactions of this new song, which is already in the top 10 here in the US. So, you know, we'll see. You know, we'd love to come back, though, I'm sure.
Okay, so we're going to be looking forward to that. Okay. Well, anyway, of course, Star Nation, we will be back for more of Brian McKnight. And of course, after the break, we will be joined by the Star DJs of Star FM Baguio. So stay tuned, Star Nation. And we are back on Star FM exclusive with Brian McKnight. And right now, we are joined by the Star DJs of Star FM Baguio. Of course, we have here Star DJ Jerry, Star DJ Nash, and Star DJ Simon. Okay, so of course, meet Brian, guys. Brian McKnight is here on the show. Right, okay. Okay, so anyway, of course, they too have questions for Brian. So let's begin. Let's begin with Star DJ Simon, okay? Take it away, Simon.
Thank you, Gabby. Well, hi, Brian. It's
Hi.
really an honor to have you on the show. And, you know, you've inspired so many people. And your musical style, many young singers like us are influenced because of that. So what could probably be your message to all the younger singers and artists of this generation?
It's important to find your own voice, you know, to figure out that thing that makes you you and uniquely you. One of the things I always wanted that for people when they heard me to know it was me, when they heard not just my voice, but if I was playing a piano part or a guitar part, that's something that was a signature of mine that made me a little different than everybody else. There's so much music out there. How do you set yourself apart from everyone? It's really about finding your own voice and figuring out how to be uniquely you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I believe in that. It's about stepping out of your box and finding your true identity with regards to singing, because not all of the artists right now are very unique. Most of the time, they tend to copy each other. But I believe I will also take that advice as an aspiring singer as well. I think it's a very good advice that we singers, or not just singers, as an aspiring singer as well, we need to adapt our own voice. We need to find our own path, and I think we should also discover the same passion, just like what we're doing.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So great message from Brian. Okay, thank you so much, Star DJ Simon. Okay, now let's go to Star DJ Nash. Hi.
Hello, Brian. Good morning, mabuhay. This is my question. You've collaborated with so many singers, but if you were to collaborate with a legendary singer you haven't done a duet with, who would it be?
Whoa. You know, it probably would have been Aretha Franklin if she hadn't passed. That would probably one of the people I think that would be really awesome. I think that Ariana Grande has an incredible voice. And I think that if I could get her in the studio, we could probably create something that'd be really, really special and new that people had never heard before. So that would be amazing, I think.
Oh, okay.
Okay, wow. So Ariana Grande, wow, that's gonna be exciting. Okay, so anyway, of course, Star DJ Jerry also has a question for Brian. Star DJ Jerry, hi.
Hi, and yep, I have a question for you. I have a question. Sorry, sorry, something happened. We are so honored, and one thing that I wanna talk to you about is, you know, you've had so many hits, and people are always loving your songs. Your songs are so legendary, iconic songs, I would say. And what is probably your most favorite of all the songs that you've released so far?
Oh, that's easy. And my favorite is the one that's out now, Nobody. It's the signature song for my wife that I've written since we met. I mean, I've written every song since we met about her. But this one, the lyric, the melody, the way I'm singing, if you can hear a decided difference between Back at One or Still or the songs from my past that didn't mean anything because they weren't based on anything or anyone, that when I sing about Leilani, it's just a different thing, you know, from the very first note of that song, the very first key that I play. It's obvious how in love I am with my wife.
Wow. So it's Nobody. Okay, so that's the newest song from Brian McKnight. Okay, thank you so much, Brian. Thank you so much, Star DJ Jerry. Of course, finally, of course, I would like to know, Star DJ Jerry, what's your favorite Brian McKnight song?
Well, that's very easy. I really love Back at One and One Last Cry. All right, and I grew up listening to all the songs, but those two songs are so special to me. Back at One and One Last Cry.
Yeah, of course, Star DJ Nash, what's your favorite Brian McKnight song?
Same with Star DJ Jerry, Back at One. But of course, I also like Sorry Song because it's in Tagalog.
The sorry song, yes. I'm so sorry. Okay,
Yeah, Sorry Song.
okay, Star DJ Simon.
All right, for me, to give you a fun fact, I think one of my favorite Brian McKnight song is One Last Cry, because when I was on second grade, I sang that in the karaoke for a lot of times, and I even recorded it on a cassette. Yeah. So I think I can definitely say that that's
old.
one of my favorite songs.
Okay, so yeah, a lot of us love One Last Cry, but can I just say that I also love the song. It's not the most popular of the songs from Brian, but it's the song Win. So that was really, yeah, I mean, that was so inspiring. I think it was also featured in a movie. So that's Men of Honor, is that right?
Men of Honor. Yep.
That's such a beautiful song. Okay, so finally, of course, Brian, what is your message to your Filipino fans who's been supporting you for so many years, and any promises for the Filipinos?
The message would be thank you. You know, been riding with me for 25, 26 years since the first time I came. And every time I come back, I feel so loved by the entire country. And I would just say so much gratitude, and hopefully my promise would be that when this all ends, to come back and play again there in the Philippines would be amazing for us.
Okay. Yes, wonderful message. That was so beautiful. Okay, so anyway, thank you so much, Brian. We are truly honored to have you on board tonight. We are so glad to finally meet you through this interview. And of course, we can't wait to have you here again in the Philippines. Once again, maraming salamat, Brian McKnight.
Thank
Star
you.
Nation, of course, yes, that was the legendary R&B singer-songwriter Brian McKnight. Of course, like us on Facebook, that's 89.5 Star FM Baguio. And of course, you can also check us out, DJ Gabby Ginger, DJ Simon Almond, DJ Nash Potato, and DJ Jerry Strawberry. Once again, Star Nation, that was Star FM exclusive with Brian McKnight. Of course, my name is Star DJ Gabby with the Star DJs, and this is Star FM exclusive. Good night, everyone. Bye.